Hi again, everyone. I think this is time to start. So if I can just kindly ask you to finish grabbing the lunch. If you're online and this is the same time, grab your lunch. If it's not lunchtime, then continue to listen. Uh, and we'll be starting now. So this is a session on Article 6 implementation in 3 countries in Southeast Asia, in Laos, in Thailand, and in Cambodia. I'd like to welcome you all to this session that is part of the Global Green Growth Week that will be focusing on carbon. And this is a bit of a carbon day right now at the Global Green Growth Week. As you know, there will be the launch of the Carbon Transaction Facility later today. So if you were not planning to join, but I'm sure you were all planning to join anyway, then do join. It will be a bit later this afternoon. Maybe I can introduce myself because I actually don't know everyone in the room, and I'm sure I don't know everyone online. My name is Wesley Ramnoth. I am now in the carbon pricing unit, but it's only been 2 days. I actually joined from the Lao country office where I was supporting the implementation of the Article 6 governance framework in Laos with the government of Laos for the past 15 months or so. And I had been working in Laos for the past 4 years, actually, previously on national planning and LDC graduation processes. So this is a country that I am quite familiar with. So maybe I can provide you with some background on the session and the objectives that we have for today. I know that you are all quite familiar with Article 6, but just for the sake of it, Article 6 is meant to facilitate international cooperation on carbon markets. It allows countries to collaborate in order to meet their NDC targets and often go beyond. It promotes cost-effective mitigation, right, by enabling countries to trade these ITMOs, internationally traded mitigation outcomes, and to drive investment in low-carbon technologies. And it often is very much linked to national development priorities of countries which are trying to decarbonize their economy and in general to achieve the SDGs. So there are plenty of opportunities. But of course, to open the market, a lot of countries have quite a bit of work to do, and often it's about designing new governance arrangements, sometimes building on the experiences that they've had with the voluntary markets, sometimes building on the experiences that they've had with the CDM, but often there's still quite a bit of work to do. And for all of those 6, you know there's quite a bit of work. It can be about updating legislation, defining strategies, supporting the origination of projects and the development of project pipelines, but also making sure that all of this is done in a coherent way with the rest of development priorities of the country. So for all of you that are working on governance, this could be an interesting session. And that is because we're bringing 3 countries that are somehow working on making progress on their governance arrangements when it comes to Article 6. And it's not to say that there's one country in the 3 that we'll be discussing today that is going further than the other. I think somehow, as Article 6 is quite new, everyone is finding its own pathway towards the development of governance frameworks. There are countries like Laos that have been doing quite a lot on their legislation, their policy framework. There are countries that have already been able to approve, authorize a few projects. There are countries that have developed operational manuals and are exploring collaboration already. So the objective of this session is really to bring together all of these experiences, right? To make sure that, well, first of all, we can learn from one another as we are still developing governance frameworks. This is for policymakers in Laos, Thailand, and Cambodia, and maybe elsewhere as well, but also for all of you and this kind of work, right? We can really learn from one another. And I've always found that discussing with other countries has helped me to understand better some of the challenges that I was myself facing when working with Laos. So what do we need to know before we start the session? I think what you can know, and you'll get more from the speakers themselves, is that Laos has done quite a lot of work on a decree on carbon credits. So you will hear more about this. And they're looking at, in the future, developing regulations and a strategy. We have Cambodia that has been able to develop an operations manual for Article 6 and is already looking at collaboration with a few countries, with a few buyers. And in Thailand, that was one of the first countries to authorize an Article 6 project, but is now looking at refining its strategy that is looking at doing studies to try to identify priority sectors, high-hanging fruits, and so on. So with all this, allow me to introduce the speakers from the governments of Laos, of Cambodia, and of Thailand. So first we have Dr. Bunua Kempilavan, Deputy Director of the Policy Division of the Department of Climate Change of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Laos. Welcome to him. We have Mr. Sokim Pich, Head of the Greenhouse Gas Inventory and Mitigation Office at the Department of Climate Change in the Ministry of Environment of Cambodia. Welcome to him as well. And finally, Ms. Kritaya Chunhaviri-Yakul, Director of Climate Measure and Mechanism Section, Division of Strategy and International Cooperation, Department of Climate Change and Environment in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Thailand. Welcome to her. What is the agenda for today? We'll hear first about Laos, that will be describing the work that they've done on the decree. Then we'll move to the presentation from Cambodia and then Thailand. Remember your questions. We will go through the first three presentations first, and then we will have Q&A time. So you can also write it in the chat if you're online, and then we'll make sure to look at it. So with all this, allow me to pass the floor to Dr. Bunua, that I've been working with very closely in the past for his first presentation. And I kindly ask you to stay within the 10 minutes that have been allocated to make sure that we have time for the Q&A.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Maybe you could remove your background if that would be possible.
Yeah.
Because we somehow see through your eyes.
Background, go to more option, right?
And if you could move closer to the screen as well. Maybe that would help if you can't remove the background.
Is the background looking for the background now? Okay. Please tell me.
Okay, so just wait an extra 30 seconds before we solve this.
Stage.
Dr. Bunua, are you still online? Okay, let's just wait another 10 seconds. Otherwise, I will ask if we could move directly to the Cambodia presentation. Okay, so I see you, Dr. Bunua. Please, you have the floor.
I see my screen.
We see your slides. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. It's me. This one first. Okay, thank you very much. Again, good morning. Bunua Kempilavan from Department of Climate Change, Monterey, Laos. Today, I'm going to share with you the progress of the preparation to facilitate the carbon markets in Laos, particularly for the carbon credit decree that is being finalized, and we hope that it will be the key legal frameworks to facilitate the carbon credit in Laos. First, I would like to share after the Kyoto Protocol ended and Article 6 rule book is the new mechanism that the new national and the new national policies and regulations are needed to facilitate the international carbon trading. And second challenge is we need to in order to formulate the policy and concerning declaration, national capacity needs at the multiple multi-sectoral and sectoral level. There are some risks that of the policy and regulation incoherence without coordination. And the last challenge is to make sure that the co-benefit from trading will be in line, aligned with our national plans, as well as also the interministerial and multi-stakeholder coordination mechanism are required to be enhanced. So based on these challenges, we do believe that the carbon markets can support Laos to develop a coordinated and multi-stakeholder framework for sustainable and strategic participation in international carbon markets. This is some challenges that Laos have facing right now, since we have also some experiences since we also practice the carbon trading under CDA mechanism. And under the program of for open and sustainable carbon markets in Laos, it's divided into phases, and there are also three main outcomes under this program. And the most key outcome is to develop the carbon market decree that is being finalized, and hopefully it will be endorsed by our government by this November. After this carbon market decree is endorsed, the following activity also will be conducted, particularly the carbon market strategy, the guideline, and also as well as how to make sure that the owner of the carbon market is to be facilitated and managed more effectively in Laos. Now I would like to share some of the progress so far of the readiness preparation of legal framework for carbon trading in Laos. In order to complete our commitment under Paris Agreement, at the national level, carbon market is being developed. That we have to make sure that it's aligning with concerning laws, particularly the law on forestry and also environmental protection, as well as the existing decree, for example, the decree on climate change, and also on the level. Some of the regulations are in place, but particularly for the forest sector is already approved. And also the latest one, we is on the final one to develop the LTLS strategy. This strategy is also hope to be endorsed by the government by the end of this year. And following by the carbon market decree, carbon market strategy will be formulated as the criteria for authorization, fees, charges, as well as some eligible of the carbon credit mechanism also will be included, to make sure that we can facilitate the carbon trading more effectively in the near future. Regarding for the carbon for decree formulation, we studied the process into the early 2023, and the first draft was come up by the March 2024. After we get the first draft, the consultation workshop were conducted at both national and sub-national level with key stakeholders from relevant state government sector, as well as the development partners, private sector were invited to share some their idea on the workshop. And the next step is to conduct the legal review with the Ministry of Justice by the end of this month, and then we hope to submit to the Prime Minister Office for their consideration for endorsement by the end of November. And this is the content of the decree. The total of the content consists of the 16 chapter and 63 article, and some of the science article, particularly article 31 regarding with the tax income collection, Right now, in order to make sure that the tax rate, it will be considered a carry. Now we were working with the RCC from Bangkok to do the assessment, and we the fight with the hopefully we will provide some option to Ministry of Finance for the clear rate for to collect the tax from project developer. And based on in order to support the committee who have been involved in drafting the decree, we are providing some capacity building workshop that's including some of the breakdown of the carbon markets and the Paris agreement, as well as we also provide some more insight regarding the abatement cost that can apply to reduce the GHG emission reduction to not only to the committee who involved in the drafting of the carbon decree, but as well as for the stakeholder from concerning sector, for example, from the line ministry and the bank as well. And one of the key activities under this program, we just have the successfully organized the first forum on carbon markets on the last month on 26 September. And stakeholders from various organizations were invited to participate to learn more. Not only the participants from within the country, from outside the Laos as well were invited to join, both from the international organization and private sector. And right now we also fully engaged in the Article 6 implementation, that we are seeking to achieve some benefit from Article 6 to cost our financial gap that was estimated in NDC version 2020. That is was expected under condition target to allow 4.7 million US$, and including the knowledge and technology transferring. We also hope to get the benefit from Article 6 as well. Contribution to our national development priorities and to achieve the SDG as well from Article 6 implementation. And right now, we already signed a MOU with our partner, particularly from signed MOU with Ministry of Trade and Industry of Singapore, and also the United Kingdom to implementing Article 6. And hopefully soon we will sign the MOU with the Ministry of Trade, Industrial and Energy of the Republic of Korea as well. Hopefully by within this month we will sign the MOU to facilitate the MOU to facilitate the Article 6 implementation. Yes, that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benoit. And not to waste any time, let's go directly to Cambodia. Mr. Sokimpich, Head of Greenhouse Gas Inventory and Mitigation Office at the Ministry of Environment, you have the floor. And please stay within the 10 minutes allocated.
Thank you. Let me try to share the screen first, and then I will start my presentation. Okay. So, could you see my slide?
Yes, you can, but you can also, but you can also put them full screen. Maybe that will be better for participants.
Okay. How about now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, good morning from Cambodia, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be in the event, especially invited by the GGI. My name is Sokimpich. I'm the head of GHG Inventory and Mitigation Office under the Department of Climate Change, Ministry of Environment. Today, I have one presentation to share all of you about the lesson learned from that we earned from implementation of Article 6. Before I jump into the main content, let me briefly telling you about the Cambodia status in engaging in our carbon market. So far, we also a part of UN REDD+. So far, we earn around almost 12 million from selling the carbon credit from REDD+ project through the Kalsima and South Kadamon projects. And right now we are having 3 more projects are ongoing. And then we also engage in the CDM project. So far we have more than 14 CDM projects have been implemented and also phased out. And in the CDM project, some projects is focused on hydropower, energy saving, non-forest, I mean from the coastal, and last but not least, about from the promoting e-mobility. And then we also working with the Japanese regarding the JCM, we call joint crediting mechanism. We have so far more than 7, but some of project has been phased out because of some technical and financial support. And right now we have 5 projects are still ongoing. We have started the project JCM project in 2014, as our government have signed the bilateral document with the Japanese side. And then right now we also, I can say like we are in deeper engaged in the carbon market through the international cooperation of the Paris Agreement. Look back in 2023, we have signed MOU with Singapore on the carbon trading. And then after that, we have 2 companies that interest in trading on the carbon. One is Citran, another one is Sequest, Airtrans, sorry. And then right now we are in the moving state of the negotiation. For example, like next week, we will discuss with the Sequest on the implementation agreement and how we can get started. And then this year, maybe in early June or May, I forget, but we have signed the MOU with Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy in South Korea on the carbon trading as well. And then right now, maybe soon we will have like a working group to facilitate the trade between Cambodia and Korea. And then we will have like a first pilot project on the ITMO project through the charging infrastructure for e-mobility promotion in Cambodia as well. So this is how we are moving forward in terms of engaging in carbon market in Cambodia. This is our main content today that we have Cambodia. This year we have launched our, we call operation manual for the implementation of the Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climate change in Cambodia. If we're talking about the Paris Agreement, sometimes if we don't stress on the climate change, it really confused for Cambodian people because we have another Paris Agreement as well, but it's on peace. So let's move on the Paris Agreement on climate change. We have our main goal is to, to establish for this manual because we want to have like application to all GHG emission reduction projects that have been implemented in Cambodia and seeking the authorization of the GHG emission reduction for the international standard under the Article 6 of the Paris. Next slide is about the solely authorized entity to act on behalf of Royal Government of Cambodia on the Article 6 related activity. We have Ministry of Environment as the national authority and the chair of the Article 6, and then we have coordination. We have all the national working group on climate change, and we also have a secretariat at the Department of Climate Change and the secretariat, and we also have a climate change technical working group as the national technical working group. That this is on how the institutional arrangement that we have been set up so far. And then right now we also establish another, we call carbon crediting unit that is will serve as a secretariat and will play an important role to promote and work on the Article 6 as well. And then next slide. Let's move to the ownership of the GHG emission reduction, so also right for the international trade under the Article 6. For this, we have like first from the national authority, we all share owned by the Royal Government of Cambodia, so be allocated to the environmental and social fund. So it means all the benefit, all the surplus that we can gain from the Article 6 project implementation, and then it must be located to the environmental and social fund. Second, the ownership of the GHG emission reduction unit gave the relevant GHG emission reduction project proponent can be removed in case of non-applicant with applicable provision of the let's see clearly of the Article 6 operation manual. And then next slide is about the national GHG reduction registry. Of course, Cambodia, we don't have a national registry, but in terms of the project implementation so far, we rely on the REDD+ registry. And under the CDM project, we rely on the UNFCCC international registry system. And also GSM, we rely on the GSM registry platform as well. This is that we have been working on so far in terms of national GHG emission registry. For the age eligibility criteria, of course, for if the project proponent that they would like to seek for the authorization of the GHG emission reduction project in Cambodia, they need to go through the age criteria here first, including positive link of the GHG emission reduction project that we have listed down in our operation manual. Second thing is the share of GHG emission reduction reserve for domestic use. Of course, we need it to we need to use it for our NDC as well. The third authorization period aligned with Article 6.4 crediting period. And the fourth is authorized GHG emission reduction issued by the by an eligible carbon mechanism. And fifth, GHG emission reduction are real, verified, and additional. And the sixth, GHG emission reduction are generated from 2021 onwards. And seven, GHG emission reduction project ensure environmental integrity by setting baseline conservatively and below BAU emission projection. And second thing is maximizing risk of the non-performance of GHG mitigation. And the last but not least, the GHG emission project is aligned with our Cambodia sustainable development priority as well. This is the stage of Article 6 emission reduction project cycle. We have like this side like three stages. First, we call project pre-implementation period. So in this period, all the project proponents they need to request for the letter of no objection. Of course, so far we experienced with giving a few letter of no objection to some of the company, also the NGO, that they request for the letter of no objection for their designing project as well. In that, we also request them to send us all the relevant document as well as the verification report, validation report to us so that we can take a look before we authorize the letter of no objection. And then we also, but right now we don't have any experience on the authorize of the letter of agreement yet, authorization yet, because we still on the early stage for Cambodia. This is we jump into the stage 2 project implementation, and then here they also need to request a lot of letter as well and more concrete in terms of the project implementation, so that if they have enough dividend or document, and then we can of course give the authorization for their project. And then last but not least, the issue and transfer of the or cancel of their project. Of course, if the project faces any issue, they can inform us to cancel or to negotiate, or issue the authorize based on their project successfully. Next slide.
Mr. Sokim, if I can ask you to finish within 1 minute, please, so that we have time for Thailand as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I will be quick. This is the pre-implementation project as I already mentioned. So let me move to the share of our GHG emission reduction for domestic use. Also, I already mentioned that our main purpose is to transfer for our NDC and domestic use as well. And for the next step, I have like 8 points to share with you for in Cambodia, but also to get it successfully, we also need the support from the development partner, especially from GGI that have helped us on the Article 6 manual so far. So first, strengthening institutional capacity. Second is launch of pilot phase of the carbon market project. The third is develop and implement of national carbon registry. We don't have a national registry for the carbon or GHG emission project. And the fourth, we want to strengthen our MOV system for the detailed MOV guideline for the right project. And the five, formalize the legal and policy framework like Laos, they already designed a decree on the carbon credit. For Cambodia, right now we have the draft our sub decree on the GHG emission management in Cambodia, but it's still need more step to get approval. So we hopefully get it done soon. The next, we want to engage stakeholder and build partnership with especially with the private sector. Seven, we want to develop a financial strategy for carbon market. And then the last but not least, we want to promote the public awareness and communication so that all the carbon market or we want also to enhance our investment in the local as well. I think with this, I come to the end. I would like to thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sokim. And no transition directly to Thailand. Ms. Kritaya Chunaviri-Yakul, you have the floor. Thank you. Can you hear us in Thailand? But we cannot hear you.
Yes.
This works now. Thank you.
Okay.
And we see your slides.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me here to today's session and share our Thailand's policies on mitigation and also in Article 6 framework in Thailand. So our mitigation policy is mainly based on, we have the mitigation target that is to become net zero by 2065 and carbon neutrality by 2050. And the shorter mitigation target is indicated in our NDC. The NDC 1 is to reduce greenhouse gas by 2030. Within this, we are aiming to peak by 2025, 188 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Screen, you may see that we have some technologies and measures in place. This is the measures that we expect to help us reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to become carbon neutrality and net zero by 2065. So so the measures that are indicated in the screen is supposed to be in the period of year. For example, within the 2030, we have different measures. For example, to increase share of renewable energy and to implement the 30 at 30 policy in the transport sector. The 30 at 30 policy is to increase EV share by 30% by 2030. So these are the some of the measures that we need to implement our NDC. I'm sorry, I'm kind of I'm not familiar with the system. So under for our NDC implementation, we have draft the NDC action plan on mitigation 2021 to 2030. This for the cabinet for approval by end of this year. Within this NDC action plan, we can identify that we should be able to reduce greenhouse gas emissions with the domestic effort around 33.3%. And we will need international support around 6.7% from the BAU level in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions up to 40%. On top of that, we will allow Article 6 implementation to implement in the country within this NDC period. Within this NDC action, the percentage of the percentage of greenhouse gas emissions that we will allow to implement under Article 6. At the moment, it is expected to be at 3% maximum, but we will still wait for the cabinet for approval. So once a cabinet approves, this will be the framework and the maximum amount that we will allow the projects to DC. The current measures under the NDC action plan for us to reach the 40% target is that listed within this PowerPoint. So I will not go into detail. So for the Article 6 implementation in Thailand, we have carbon credit management guideline. At the moment, we are working as whatever guided by the carbon credit management guideline and mechanism, or we call it CCMGM. The key principles when we are looking into the project that we will approve for Article 6 implementation is that it should support our NDC, that is, it should be outside the scope of NDC and conditional target. And we need to ensure that there is avoidance of double counting, and the project should also support SDG implementation, other than the SDG 13. And it shouldn't provide what is it called? It should provide ship transformation within the country, and should be high technology, and should not be able to implement with it should be the project that cannot implement without the carbon mechanism. And we are considering to request to the project developer that the project developer needs to share credits from the project at the minimum of 10% at the year of our NDC target, that is within in 2030. The project developer is supposed to share credits minimum of 10%. This is to ensure this is for the corresponding adjustment mechanism. So at the moment, this is the carbon market within the country. Apart from Article 6, we also have the voluntary market domestically. The carbon market, the voluntary market is not regulated. Is not regulated, by the law. But we have the scheme, the national scheme called TVER, operated by TGO, and there are also project implementations that utilize international standards and independent standards in the country as well. But for the project that will implement Article 6, this should start with the implementing agreement between Thailand and partner country. And the standard or the scheme or the program that we will allow will depend on the agreement that Thailand has with the other partner country. For example, the one that we have with Switzerland, we open for different standards, but it will depend on the negotiation between the two countries. So this is the draft procedure that we have in order to issue no objection letter. To issue issuance of the letter of authorization for the Article 6 projects. So at this start, the project developer is to discuss with the DCCE, which is the focal point on Article 6.2 in Thailand, to discuss whether the projects are additionality to NDC and conditional target. And if the DCCE will consider whether we need to discuss and get confirmation from line agency that is responsible for that NDC sectoral target, then we will propose it to the subcommittee on policy, and the next step we propose it to the National Committee on Climate Change, where the Prime Minister is the chair. And then we propose it at the later stage is to propose it to the cabinet for approval to issue the letter of authorization. Within the letter of authorization, there will be different elements. For example, the amount of it must to be transferred totally under the project, the period of implementation, the methodology that are used under that project, and also the accredited entities that is authorized, and the purpose of it moves that will be transferred. So there are different criteria that we listed under the CCMGM. Basically, it should support our NDC. It should be outside the scope of NDC and conditional target, and it should support the long-term targets identified in the LTLETs, and it should support the SDG and contribute to the shift shipped into the to be in place within the country. So with the Spark and GGGI support, we are working in Thailand. We are working on developing the Article 6 operation manual. This is to help the CCE itself and also the line agencies and also the project developer to understand how we can operate when we are to develop a project and also to issue the letter of authorizations and until adjust the national inventory and also issue reports under the UNFCCC framework. We are also revising the authorization criteria on, for example, like what we are looking for in the project that we will authorize for Article 6.2 implementation. Working together with the support of Spark, GGGI, and ICCI. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Kritaya. This means that we are at the end of the 3 presentations, and we have, I'm looking at the time, 8 minutes for a Q&A, which is great. We have already a question online, which is on registers and registries and different options for those. We understand from the presentations that there will be some of this work that will be done in the 3 countries that have been presenting. So maybe we can ask very quickly to the 3 speakers if they have plans to develop basically a simple tracking database of projects, but will also maybe record some of the trades and what the options that they are looking at right now. So maybe we can start in the order that we had with Laos. What do you think you will be developing in the country in terms of registry or register? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for your question. Yeah. After the decree is endorsed, so the following activity, we will develop the strategy on carbon markets. Based on aligned with that, we also would like to speed up for develop the national registry, and that including the guideline. And some of the participants also asked me the same question. So this registry will facilitate us to monitor and also track the carbon project in Laos. And we can also collect some key information that we also have the commitment to report to the UNFCCC Secretariat as well. So this is the next step to facilitate the carbon.
Thank you. Maybe we can hear from Cambodia on the register issue.
For Cambodia case, I mentioned, since we don't have a national registry system, so it is difficult for Cambodia to track, on the carbon issuance and as well as to get the right data from the project implementation. And so if we have the national registry, it allows us, to track the issue and giving our ownership, and also we can verify our carbon crediting that generate from the project implementation. With that, I would like to thank you.
Thank you very much. And Thailand.
So thank you for your question. So for Thailand, we have, I would say that there are 2 separate registries in the country. One is the project taken care of. However, that these are the projects that developed and implemented using TVER standard, the national standard. And we also have the national located at DCCE. In this national inventory we use it to generate our BUR and also the BTR. However, we are link the 2 registries together in the area of Article 6 so that we can perform better course.
Thank you very much. We have a second question from the online participants. One that is, I think would deserve probably another session. It's on challenges that have been encountered by the 3 countries when it comes to implementing cooperative approaches and how collaboration at the regional level can ensure an economic growth met. I think maybe I can reformulate this so that we manage it within the time. Maybe the 3 countries, if you could pick one challenge that you're facing on Article 6 implementation that you would like to mention, just one that you feel is very and other countries. So one challenge. Let's go the same order. Laos first.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the question. I think right now is just to develop the national standards. Right now we already signed the MOU with 2 countries. and more MOU with more countries will be signed soon. So national standard, like at Thailand, they have the T-words or something like that. You would like to do that?
Okay, thank you. So developing a national standard. What about Cambodia?
For Cambodia, of course, we have a lot of challenges, but what I would like to share, one is we need to develop and implement our own national carbon registry so that it can allow us in terms of more ownership as well as to track all the carbon emission as well as to get the right data for GHG emission, because it is really important for Cambodia, to because we also use it toward our national, I can say, indicator on the GHG emission reduction.
Thank you. So registry development. And what about Thailand?
So for us, I think it is also challenging for us when we are trying to implement, for example, the issuance of different reports and also the letter of authorization of the Article 6.2 negotiation, whether it will be changed again in the future or something like that, because we will have to adjust our process and also legal arrangement within the country to ensure that it is aligned with the UNFCCC framework. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I understand this is a big challenge, potentially changing rules. But I think we've learned a lot from you, trying to understand some of the challenges that you've had and you've lifted, some of the challenges that you're currently facing. This brings us to the end of the session. I think it was very ambitious to try to have 3 countries speaking about all of what they're doing within an hour. And I apologize that we didn't have the time for more questions and answers, but I hope you've been able to benefit from the session. Big thanks to our 3 presenters, to the 3 countries, for everyone to either skip lunch or have lunch while listening to us. I think it has been a great session, and I hope there will be more of these knowledge sessions where countries can share some of their experiences in the future. At least in GGI, that's a lot of food for thought for our programs and our future programs. So thank you very much. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you, participants.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.